Hello. Okay. Courtney hasn't made it yet. And I don't see anyone in the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and get started scrapping. So this is the final session for National Scrapbook Day. And I am going to be starting off with a layout using a kit from Studio Flergs. And it's called an outdoor adventure. And I'm going to be using these pictures from a trip we took to the beach, but we were on the Gulf Islands National Seashore. So there's lots of different things to see there, but I'm just going to go ahead and start with those 4 pictures. Let me make sure they're all highlighted here. 3, 4, there we go. So we're doing 4. Hi, Renee. You having a good Sunday? I've been scrapping quite a bit, which has been fun. Let's see which layout I want to be my main. I think I'm going to let it be the sun. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Becky. Courtney just got in, so she like in from she was out doing something, and she'll be joining us so I don't miss any of your comments. All right, so I'm going to make all of these pretty small here. And I do think I'm going to bring that size down a little bit. And I think I'm going to do maybe like a cluster of 3 here. Okay, let that one go under. Oh, what state are you working on? Stitching, Renee? Yeah, Becky, Flergs was way back in the day, right? That Scrapbook Graphics, that's where you and I met. It was a long time ago. Okay. Get my photos placed here. All right. Let's see. All right. She has lots of goodies in here. I think I'm gonna grab this because I like the way it mimics the darkness of that sign. But I am gonna reduce it in size a little bit so that it actually, yeah, and then I'm just gonna move this whole thing over a little bit. Mm-mm. Yeah, good old studio girls. Yeah, we had a dreary day yesterday, Renee. It was raining all day and it was some bad lightning and thunder, like made me jump like at least twice. It was so loud. And when it shakes the windows, you're like, what? Okay. I think I'm gonna go. I really like this leafy. She's got a couple of versions of it, but I like this one. And then I think I'm gonna put this on top, and I'll just do, maybe let's do a circle. Let's see, that'd be a boundary. Okay, a little bit smaller, a little bit. Just make sure that's centered. But I'm going to leave the photos up at the top. Okay. And then I'll clip dotted paper to that. Oh, like that. And let's see. There's another one I want to. Hello, there you are. Here.
Here.
You're here. You're here. I was like, oh boy, I'm juggling.
No worries. I was at travel ball and I was like, okay, we're gonna get home. And then I was like, we're not gonna get home. And then we did get home. Like I was like, okay, I might have to leave and leave you guys here. Nope. And
Yeah.
they lost, so we got to come home.
Oh, gotcha.
It was not a good
Yes.
loss. It was a you
Aw.
guys should have won that loss.
Aw.
But that's okay.
Matthew's
Yeah,
okay
Renee,
about
I'm
it.
with you. It's been so dreary and it's going to be dreary, and all I want to do is put my plants outside and it's gross.
Or like plants, like uh, planter, stuff that you've been greenhousing to plant? Or
Yes.
gotcha.
Yeah, they're seedlings. But it was okay, and then it got cold and wet. I don't like cold and wet.
Yeah.
I'm over the cold. Winter should be done.
Well, I have to tell you, there's something wrong with me because I am wearing a sweater and I'm cold.
It's probably just the weather.
I told, my mom was always cold, and I was like, oh, I can't wait till I'm cold because I was always like sweating and miserable, you know?
Mhm.
And then I was like, okay, now I don't know if I like the cold that much.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a glitter paper. So was Matthew okay about um, the loss, or did he take it hard?
Well, he wasn't playing very well, so he had to leave. He was benched early.
Oh,
When you walk out and you have this look on your face like, "Wait, we're playing basketball?" But, half his team decided to play that same game. Wait, are we supposed to be playing ball? It was not. And they had such a good morning game that it was even
yeah.
more disappointing. Yeah. Becky says she won't brag about her blue skies today, but it is windy.
It's lovely outside today here, but you wouldn't know it from yesterday. I was telling them the weather was crazy here.
Yeah, the weather, it's been a crazy spring for a lot of people. Yeah, we're at the point where I don't want to turn the heat on because I hate turning the heat on at this point in the month. Like when it's May,
Right,
I'm like, no, there should be no heat. It should be that month where I don't have to do heat, but I also don't have to do air conditioning yet. Like it should just be windows. And
right.
it's like 50 degrees out right now, so it's really chilly because it's been 50 degrees and rainy for 2 days now. So it's getting
Like,
chilly in the house.
I'm over it. I am
But
over it.
I know. But it's supposed to be up to the 70s later this week, so it's more just like getting through today and tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. Just a little bit more. Hang in there. You'll get the good stuff.
Yeah. Then I can hopefully enjoy blue skies like Becky, who's got wind, but blue skies.
Blue skies smiling at me.
I like that background. What kit are you using?
This is an outdoor adventure by Flergs, Studio Flergs. It is so cute. Here, I'll pull over the preview.
That is cute.
I mean, it has all the little, you could do it for camping or, you
Hmm.
know,
Even your own backyard.
yes, even your own backyard.
Even your own backyard. Sorry, we were talking about. Okay, so have you ever grown mint?
My mom did.
Okay,
I
so
think
what
she
I
did.
have been told about mint is be careful when you grow it because it's the devil's plant because it takes over everything
Yeah, it like goes and goes.
and it just goes and it doesn't stop. And so I have a mint plant and so it is like, well, be careful if you put it on the ground, it'll find like the holes at the bottom, like the drainage holes, and it'll grow into the ground. And I'm like, joke's on the mint because it's hanging up, so it can't reach the ground, right?
Wrong.
But we have this spot in my yard where I'd actually really like it to be taken over by mint. So I'm kind of debating on putting it down and just letting it go. You know, being like, you want to be invasive mint? Here you go.
We will let you.
I will let you right here by the trampoline. Anybody else grow mint or anything? Weeds, grass counts.
These pictures are taken in 2011. I don't even think we had our smartphone then. I would like to use this little element here. but I don't think it would be accurate.
You don't think so?
No, we were late to the game.
Well, I was trying to think. 2000. Oh, you know which phone I had in 2011? I had my favorite phone. I had my little
Favorite?
flip phone that had the whole keyboard.
Oh yes.
I loved that phone. I that was the phone that I kept. The Rumor was what mine was. I think that was when I had the Rumor, because I went from a BlackBerry to a Rumor. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I kept that phone until I couldn't update it and I had to get rid of it.
You're like, I don't want to get rid of it.
I
I
was like,
don't
I don't
want
want to. I love the keyboard. I still miss having a keyboard on my phone, and that slide out keyboard was amazing. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, yeah, maybe not a smartphone, but I think we forget how long ago it was that we started having phones. Like, I think I got my
Yeah.
first cell phone in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, I had just a cell phone, but I did not have a smartphone.
Mm,
I don't think. I'll have to look when I pull Light Lightroom open again. And then I was gonna scrap a different set of pictures today, and I'm like, I had to ask Jay. I was like, "Hey, do you remember going to a birthday party and Daniel was dressed up like a cowboy and they had like a petting, they had a pony, I think you could ride." And um, I'm like, I can see it in my head, but I don't know where those pictures are. And then I'm like, maybe he was younger than I thought. I think maybe he might have been in VPK, but
mm.
I'm like, hmm, I must find this. Da, da, okay.
Becky says she has a lovely background growing many plants thanks to her roommates and her neighbor. No thanks to her. Her neighbor just left a huge hosta in a planter on our front sidewalk.
Mm, hostas are lovely.
I think I have hostas. Okay,
Like, I
so
think I
short
do.
backstory. Yes, I do have one of those plants. I had to Google it and see what it looks like. So we bought a house, and when we bought our house, it turns out that I don't know how long ago, but a landscaper lived here. And
Oh,
most days, bless that landscaper, because he planted plants that are like perennials. So like I
right.
have daylilies that pop up. I just lost the name of it. The little ant plant is what I think of it as, but most people love them. Um
Ant plant.
I know. I'm
Which
horrible
one
with
is
plant
that?
names.
I'm like, what is an ant plant? Uh,
Oh, it's a peony. Have you ever had a peony?
I have not, but I love
Okay.
them. I think they're beautiful. They attract a lot of ants.
They attract a lot of ants because it turns out that they secrete something on them that makes them kind of sticky. So then the
Uh,
ants come and get them. And it's, I guess it's not a bad thing necessarily. I don't know.
right.
It drives me nuts that they get all of that. That they always have, like, they just draw all the ants to them. And it's like, ugh, why do we have to have that? But I guess it's actually a good thing because it helps kill the other bugs or something like that. Anyway, long story on the side.
Right.
But so we have things like hostas, but I didn't plant them, so I don't know what they're called. And then I have to look them up and be like, do I have that plant? I might have that plant because
You
I
have
have all
that
these
plant.
plants that I have to go out and Google Lens to figure out what it
Yeah.
is.
Isn't
Okay.
that fantastic as a resource, though? I mean,
Yes.
seriously.
Yes. Yeah, he did plant ivy, and that drives me nuts because we're still pulling ivy, and we've been pulling ivy now for 4 years, and we'll still be pulling it for another couple of years. And he planted
You
honeysuckle.
don't you don't like ivy?
I don't like ivy trying to take over my house and burrow itself into my bricks.
Oh, yeah. Not good on the house, but
Yeah.
like my mom had some like near a fence, and yeah, it
Yeah,
was good.
like if it was growing over by the fence, and actually there is some that grows by one of the fences and by the trampoline, it can stay there. That's fine. It doesn't bother me there. But it drives me nuts when it's trying to grow on the house, and so I'm constantly having to pull it off the freaking house.
Like, why?
So I don't want my house held up that way. I think of it as an ant plant, Becky, and it's honestly just because they're pretty. Peonies are quite pretty. And I think they're native to my area. But the problem is they secrete this like sugar syrup thing, and it attracts all the ants to come and get the syrup, and it's good for them, and it's good for like it's a symbiotic relationship, but it drives me nuts. 'Cause I'm like, "Oh, look how pretty this plant is. Oh, look at all the ants on it."
You're like, all the ants.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to pick them and bring them in for a bouquet too.
Well, it's more before the flowers bloom. Like once the
Oh,
flowers bloom, you don't get as many of them.
hmm.
It's more when it's still in the bud before it blooms that it has the syrup, the sticky on it. So, but yeah.
That is interesting. I did not know that about them
Yeah.
because mine are fake. Because
Yeah.
I can't have live paint. Well, I can, but I have to be very strategic where I place them because Holly Bell likes to eat them.
Mm,
And then I'm like, she's totally destroyed, bouquets Jay has brought in for me. And he brought in some gardenias. They're blooming down at my mom's place, my sister's place, whatever.
yeah.
Um, and so he goes to let the dog out down there, and he brings back these little bouquets of things that are blooming in the yard, which is quite fantastic
That's
because
awesome.
Mama has a lot of stuff down there, and we don't know half of what she's got. I mean, some of it we do, but some of it we're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's called. Or I'd ask her like a cajillion times, what is this plant? What is this plant? And then promptly forget what it is. She just retained all that information. I'm like, come back. I need to ask you some more questions. Like one of the first funerals I went to, um, it was so crazy because a couple of people were standing over to the side. I'm like, what are y'all doing over here? Y'all look like you're up to no good. And they're like, we're trying to figure out who such and such is. And so I'm like, well, don't ask me. I said, my mom was the one, and she'd be standing to the side, and she'd say, that's so and so, and she was second cousin to your grandma's best friend's uncle. This long explanation, and you're like, oh, what? You're like, okay. So,
Yeah.
and so I told him, I said, I don't like it at all. I don't like this adulting at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Adulting is not fun.
No, it isn't. It isn't. But we must forge ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't sound very excited by that either.
Being an
Okay.
adult,
Yeah.
I'm never excited to be an adult. There's just too much adulting required to be an adult.
It's terrible. Terrible, terrible. Okay, I had to make these be a little smaller. It's getting on my nerves.
I never cut my flowers and bring them inside. Maybe I should try that this year.
Oh, I love to. bouquet.
I just enjoy them outside, and I never think to cut them and bring them inside.
Yeah. When the daffodils were blooming, I got some really gorgeous bouquets out of that. I was like, yes. And then my favorite is when the gladiolas bloom, and they're tall, and Grandma had planted a lot of white ones, so that was nice.
I don't have any gladiolas. So there's a lot of greenery. Like there's a lot of just like right now I have some like little they remind me of violets, but I don't
Hmm.
think they're really violets because they're littler and they don't get very big.
Right.
Actually, there's a lot of reason I don't think they're violets, but they remind me of violets. But I bought a whole bunch of flower seeds to
Yeah.
tell my house.
Yeah.
Finally found them, but I need to plant them in the fall because they need to sit outside.
Oh.
And like it's the way that they come out of dormancy. You either
Hmm.
have to stick them in your fridge for like 60 days before you plant them, and you have to like watch them and keep them wet but dry or whatever, or you could just plant them outside in the fall and let them go through winter and they'll pop up like they're supposed to.
Mm.
So, yeah, I'm just waiting for. So, hopefully, now that I know where they are and I put them in a specific spot and I told everybody in my house, this is where they are. Remind me, this is where they are. And they make sense where they are. So, hopefully, this fall I'll be able to find them and plant them.
You're like, maybe I'll remember.
But they're all native plants like brown eyed or black eyed Susans and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So, then maybe I'll have enough flowers to bring in some cut flowers.
Hmm.
Renee said that her dad planted a peony out by the road, not close to the house. And so he planted it close to the mailbox and it was gorgeous, but they had a really heavy rain in May that ruined it and
Aw.
it never came back. May of 2011. Interesting that it never came back because I've heard that peonies they'll sometimes do that where like one season and they're like, nope, but I saw somebody call them just like a persnickety plant because they'll have like one season where they're like, no, I'm not doing it this year because too much rain, too much sun, too much whatever. And they're just like, nope, not feeling it this year. I'll see
I'm
you
not
next
done.
year. And I'm just like, that's hilarious.
Oh, I need that little piece right over there. Da,
But
da,
they'll have
da.
moments where they're like, nope, not doing it this year.
Okay, I forgot. I've been in the midst of going through some of my organization that I did like 2011. You can see down here my photo, it just says March 2011 and then the number. And then if it was, I made an edit or something, it'll have an extra number at the end. But I, at some point, I started pulling them in and changing the date. Or when my Pixel, it automatically has the date in the file name. So I need to go through these and determine
Do the pictures
where.
have it as part of your Lightroom? Like part of the
Yeah,
metadata?
I can see it now. There it is,
Because
318.
there's something you can do. The one of the settings in there, you can tell it to update the metadata to match the date that the photo was taken or something like that. Because I have to do that all the time when I bring in photos from, I think it's the kid computer or the kid camera or something. There's one camera that things do that. They just number, and I just tell Lightroom
Right.
to change it to oh, it's videos. It's when videos come in. For some reason, they load weird, and I
Yeah.
just tell it to change the metadata to when it was taken, and
So
it
usually,
renames it.
I don't mind renaming them, but I just didn't pay attention when I was pulling them in, you know, what date was on there. So it was 318 and it's in the little folder. Mm-mm.
That's impressive, Renee, that your plant was 30 years old. Perennials are amazing. They're just like, you just keep coming back. Every year you come back. Why do you keep coming back? That's awesome.
Okay, here's some bouquets. These are little mini roses. That it's more like a vine, really, like to grow on a trellis or something. That's in our yard. And then these are, oh my God, they're
They're really cool.
They're
They almost like make me think of like a pinwheel.
I'll have to look it up because I don't remember. It's just totally escaped me. But my mom has this too. And then these are the gladiola that I was talking about.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Thought
I
they
saw
were
them
just ugly.
and I thought they'd be cool to plant, but then I was reading about them and I think in my area you have to like bring them in at the end of the season and I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
If I plant it, it's got to stay in the ground. I am not dedicated enough to bring things back.
yeah. So yeah, they turned out pretty. There's that. All right, I'm just gonna minimize that. I did say that was 318, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Do you ever have to like write it down as soon as you get back to your layout, even if you don't know where you're going to put it so that you don't forget it?
Yeah, like right now I'm putting in my date because I'm like, yes, let's do that.
Becky says, "Don't mind me. I'm just shopping." What you shopping for, Becky?
Yeah, like tell us all the good y'all
Tell
have
us
gotten this weekend.
everything that you're finding that you're like, "Ooh,
Mm,
you need this.
I need this. I need that.
I need this. You need this. Somebody needs this."
Somebody, somebody needs it.
I enjoy NSD and shopping because everywhere has shopping sales.
You know, I remember when like we were first like hanging out and stuff and how
Mhm.
we would like go to all the stores
Yep.
and we would be like, "Did you see this? Did you see that?"
Mhm.
That was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I loved it. Loved
I
it.
know. And then we stopped shopping for a while.
Yeah,
What is wrong with us? Why did we stop shopping?
I know. Okay. Should I work on my shadows or should I start another layout? Da, da, da. Questions, questions. Da, da, da. Daniel 2011-03. Let's see. I'll start another one. I'll see.
Waiting to see if anybody has an opinion.
Okay, don't forget to put that in there too. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the folder because I'm done scrapping with it.
Nobody seems to have an opinion. So,
Okay.
which do you feel like doing, shadows or new layout?
I feel like scrapping with something else.
All right.
Let's see what I have here. I don't know. Let me look and see if I have a keyword for coloring. I think I do.
Some of your stuff is just so pretty, your settings and such. I always think that when I look at your flowers. Or when you're like your flowers, but also your photos.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like, oh, that's so pretty.
Okay. I really think. Didn't there come. Is it in here maybe? I think there was a release that had unicorns in it. Maybe I'm thinking of something else that I scrapped with. I bet it was that quirky kit that I scrapped with. Yeah. Let's see here.
Becky was specifically looking for a horse-themed kit. She found hay fever by ponytails, and there is an equestrian add-on that will work for her Kentucky Derby themed pages.
Oh, did you go to the Kentucky Derby? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
My mom likes to watch the Derby. Then again, my mom likes to watch a couple of things like that.
Right.
She likes to watch some of the horse races. Did you see the 50 States Kentucky by Kelly Banks Creative, Becky? It's like I saw something recently that had.
Yeah, somebody was talking about you and your enabling skills in the forum. I had to buy something. You're like, what?
In the forum, man,
Yeah.
I'm better than I thought I was.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, she made me buy all this stuff. That's the story they're going with.
You know, I don't blame them. I was convincing somebody to buy the Lego kit yesterday. And what was the other kit that I was convincing them to buy? There was another one I was convincing them to buy too. And I was like, yeah, you need it because it's really cool.
Okay.
Renee says 45 years ago yesterday, she was at the Kentucky Derby.
Oh.
Was it fun? Because, like, when I think Kentucky Derby, don't mind me here, I always think of the scene from Pretty Women where they're at the Derby and they're like using their heels to shove the clods of dirt back in and stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
that just doesn't look fun.
No.
And
And
I'm
watch
sure
out for
there's
the
more of
steaming
it.
piles. And then she's, watching the race. She goes, woo, woo, woo.
Yes. And I am sure there is much more to it than that. But I'm just like, it's a horse race. Maybe if I gambled, it would be more fun. I don't know. Genuine risk for the win. I do have to say, so Kelly Banks Creative also has these 50 States Kentucky cards.
Right.
And there's one on it that absolutely cracks me up because it says on it, it says Louisville, 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 Louisville.
But
And you're just like all the different pronunciations that you hear. And I'm like, pretty sure I've heard every single one of those.
you're like, I know I have. Do, 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 do. Okay,
Let's
there's a lot
see.
of.
Renee says it was a good time in the infield. Nothing like it is today, though. And we didn't have rain. Yeah, I don't think it'd be fun in the rain.
Yeah, I think I only have one picture of me coloring.
Becky says she didn't go, but she went to a charity auction that was derby themed. All the hats were on display.
Oh.
She said she did have see the Kentucky kit. It just didn't have what she was looking for. Gotcha. I feel that.
Yeah.
There are days that I'm looking for something very specific.
These are all Daniel's little drawings, taking pictures of. Oh, cute.
It was a sloppy track yesterday.
Okay.
Oh no.
All right. So we're going back to coloring, and I'm just going to grab these 2 pictures. That one and this one, I think. Let's see if I need to brighten it up or anything. Mm-hmm. Okie dokie.
Renee says, as drunk as some of those people were 45 years ago, I'm sure they would have had a great time. I hear it's less about the horse race and more about the atmosphere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
I love how many
stinker.
coloring photos you have.
What? I have more
Coop
than
Life,
this.
it is. It is such a cute kit. I need to find the pictures I have of my kid when he kept asking the neighbors if they'd let him pet their chickens.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. Takes care of that. Do a. I think I'll make this smaller.
So, Renee, how come you didn't see the race that day? You just weren't at the Derby part of it, or you were just out and about?
Only little kids can get on the floor like that. Did I lose you? Are you still there?
I'm still here, but I can only hear you on the YouTube channel again.
Oh, that's so weird. There is no great. No great way to stream anymore, I think. I've got to do some more research, and because I don't know that this is my favorite solution.
The infield was packed, and only those near the fence could see it. It was on my boyfriend's shoulders, but still didn't see much.
She's like, I was trying to see.
Yeah. Trying
They
hard to
wouldn't let
see,
me.
but just so high. So I never really understood like the infield idea until I went to the indie fair and the way that's set up because that's where they hold like some of the races and you're like, "Oh, I get it now." Because it's this huge spot in the middle and then the track on the outside and then seating on the outside and I was like, "I understand."
Like, I know now.
Those are such cute bright colors.
They are, and this is Color the World by Amanda Yee and Laura Wilkerson. Isn't that cute?
Aww. Color the world, work of art. Be artsy.
Yeah,
Live life in color.
future
That's
artist.
days when you have to document those silly things when kids ask you like, "Did you have color in the world when you were a kid?" Because they watch a black and white movie and you like smack you up the side of the head.
You're like, oh, you children,
Children,
you
yuck.
wicked children.
Wicked children.
Ah,
Wicked, wicked children.
Lord.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I think the atmosphere would be fun at the Derby, but I just don't think I could handle the crush of people. The
Yeah,
older I get, the less people person I get.
yeah. You know, watching like different things, and Jay's like, "Oh, that looks like it'd be interesting." I was like, "No, I hate people. Look at all the people there. There are too
I
many
hate
people.
people.
There are too many people peopling."
That's a word art somewhere that has that. There's too many people for me. It's in a kit. Somebody's made a kit and it says that are too much peopling for me or something. And I'm like, yep, I
I
feel
think
that.
it's probably Erica Zane
Mm.
because she writes the greatest little word art and stuff about anxiety and etc. etc. I like the little rainbow, but it's just not fitting right for me. Mm-hmm. Look
I
at
hate that when there's a piece of a kit that I really want to use, but it won't go right.
you're like, I don't think I like that back there either. Hmm. There we go. Let's see. Do we have any markers in this kit, or just
Ooh. Markers. Did I tell you I bribed my niece with markers?
what? You wicked woman! What did you do now? What have you
So,
bribed her into doing?
spelling is fun,
Oh,
spelling
yeah.
practice.
Oh,
And
yeah. It
sometimes
is.
she has an attitude. And it's that whole she's not my kid, but I'm in charge of her after school. So life flows easier if I make her do her spelling while I have her. Right.
Right.
And so she can be a pain in the butt. And so finally, 2 weeks ago, I said, look, she wanted to use my erasable markers because I have some really cool Phrygian erasable markers.
Uh-huh.
And I said, here's the deal. I'll make you a deal. You do spelling with no hassle for the rest of the school year. And guess what? I'll buy you your own set of erasable markers. So, spelling has no longer been a pain in the butt. But she thinks it's actually contingent on her being a whole lot better than I. For me, it's just spelling. As long as we're
Yeah.
not fighting over spelling, it's all I need. She's translated it in her mind to be this whole big thing where she has to be like extra good after school and not cause issues and all this stuff. And I'm just like,
Mm.
I will let you believe that, but that's not what the deal was.
Yeah. That was not the arrangement.
That was not what I promised. I didn't expect you to be able to be that good for that long. I just went with the easy. We're just doing the spelling.
You're like, but hey, let her
Oh,
do it.
I know. So spelling is no longer the bane of my existence. Her spelling word this week. Oh my gosh, she made me so. She made me laugh so hard because we were practicing the first day and one of her words was classroom. And she goes, "That has the A word in it." Oh my gosh, I just started laughing because I'd never thought of it that way. Classroom has the A word in it.
They see everything, don't they?
So all week, every time we practiced classroom, she would say that to me. She comes home Friday. Good gracious, kid. She did not spell classroom right. I was like, I thought it had the A word in it. She's like, I forgot. I'm like, oh my gosh. Really?
You're like, why? Why did you miss
Oh.
that one?
Yeah. Why is that the one you missed? Like, you knew that one. You had that one. Nah, not at the moment. I forgot it had the A word in it. I'm like, you told me that stupid joke all week because I laughed the first time. Come on.
Like, come on, please. Oh, I like all these little splodges of paint. This is very happy.
Becky says she used to love all the experiences. Now she just loves alone time. I feel that. I I joke that I don't want to go anywhere or do anything for Mother's Day. I just want to be home alone. Just take everybody else out of the house and let me have a day with peace.
Poor
But,
Courtney.
well, it's fine. I mean, it's more just the idea of.
You know, when you said that, it's fine. I see that little meme of the dog.
Oh,
Everything's burning down around him. It's fine, whatever.
fine. It's fine. We're good. Everything's
We're
good.
good. Everything's good.
No, it's just, it's busy. Like, because Matt's doing track, but then he's also doing this travel basketball team. And then we're also in the last weeks of school.
Yeah.
So you've got the stupid testing that they make you do, plus you've got, just everything. And so it's like every time I turn around, it's like, oh my gosh, we have something every day after school. So I'm ready for it to stop.
Stop
Just
the
one of
madness,
these
she
things
says.
stop.
Stop the madness.
Just stop. But, we're down to, I think, 2 weeks left of track and 2 weeks left of whatever. So we're almost there. Renee doesn't have to worry about anyone else in the house. Yeah. And I know I'll miss having other people around when that happens. And I know all that stuff. But dang, I think there should just be like Mother's Day should be the same weekend as iNSD. So I could just tell everybody, nope, I am scrapping all day with my headphones on. Bye.
See you later.
Things to do and people to see online. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's what I told my family. Because we're getting close to the empty nest,
Mm-hmm.
very close to it, and yeah, I'm ready for it. But it's going to be a while. I don't think my son is going to be going anywhere. But
Yeah.
we do dream about it, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, good gracious, I can't believe we're going into high school this fall. Well, he
Mm.
is. It feels like a we because there's so much that we have to be available to. Does that
I
make
can't
sense?
believe that. He's not old enough.
I know.
Ugh,
I didn't think he was old enough, but apparently he's old enough.
he's like, is he excited about it? Or is he just like, whatever?
A little of both.
Yeah,
Like, he's excited, but at the same time, it's nervousness and
right.
it's a whole new experience and a whole new thing going on. So, it's a little of both.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't blame you. So I think, and it's bigger. I mean, it's not, it seems weird because it's bigger, but at the same time, it's not. It's bigger because they have it set up so that they are all over the entire school. Whereas the way they set up the middle school, even though there's a lot of kids, they don't have them all over the whole school.
Mm.
So you have your hallway, like they have it basically set up so you, for the most part, stay to a hallway, except for like the art room and the band room and stuff. But other than those specific classes, everything else is in your hallway. So you're never running all over the place.
Well, that's good.
And so, I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, it means you don't see people. So you don't get that feeling of what it's going to be like walking into high school and having 400 children all over the place.
Yeah. That is
So,
something else.
yeah.
I remember I was so nervous because I was just afraid I was going to be late to class. That was all I was worried about.
Yeah. There's a lot of things they do really good that I think are going to be really helpful for him. Like, so they call him a team. So they have
Mhm.
a team that's set up that's their team. So they have, like, the secretary that I contact will always be the same secretary. So
Oh,
anytime he has
that's
to miss
very
school,
nice.
it's the same secretary. And they move with them every year. So, like, this group that we're getting is graduating out the class right now. So they're like, yep, all our seniors are graduating. So they're having, a rough 2 months because they're trying to make sure they have everything for the incoming kids as well as make sure all of their outgoing kids are
Right.
set. But it also means that, they're going to get to know your kid really well. So they have that. They have a counselor that's assigned directly to this group. So you have, what is it, a secretary, a counselor, and they call it an assistant principal, but it's just basically anything that you might need administratively
Right.
because, like I said, I don't even know how many kids are in the school, but there's a lot of kids in the school. And then there's one other position too, but it only belongs to, it's like the person who does all the scheduling and stuff.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so they have their own little, and they took the main office and divided it into 4 little offices. So each team has their own office.
That
So
is
like, there's a
very
lot of cool
smart.
things like that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's smart things for
Yeah,
sure.
and then they have specific things, so then they can say specifically, team this, team that, and whether it's you or not, rather than
Right.
having to call everybody, because some sophomores will be taking junior classes or whatever classes. So it just
Right.
means you're just all teams. So I like that. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, so right now the poor group is over. They're a little busy right now because they're getting rid of one set and getting a new set in. But the lady actually was telling me, she's like, it's also really exciting because we're seeing the beginning and the end at 1 year, and we're really dealing
Oh.
with both of them right now. So, oh, they have an academic coach too. So the academic coach is the one who will track like attendance and grades, and if you all of a sudden start missing, then the council will be like, "Hey, we want to check on this person." So
Right.
they so you
Yeah.
have, and I like that because I think of like my husband who lost his dad right before he went into high school, and so his grades all of a sudden fell, and you're one of so many that people didn't notice at first, and it took a teacher to say, "Hey, let's get you back on track."
Yeah.
So this way you actually have a group. So, something happens, they're going to know. They know who their sports players are that they can keep an eye on. They know who their drama kids are, all those things.
Mhm.
So, and I like that. But yeah, I've already heard from them like 3 or 4 times for different things. And I'm like, they're so communicative.
I mean, that is just really wonderful. We would
Hmm.
get call outs that drove me crazy because they're like, today we were supposed to have mashed potatoes, and there's some stupid reason why the mashed potatoes weren't there,
Hmm.
or you'd get 3 to 4 calls about sports that your child was not involved in.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
or even like when they're sending out information about, for example, senior stuff, and your
right?
kid's a sophomore. You don't need to get all the senior stuff.
No, no, you do
So
not.
I'm really excited for the school. I live in a very interesting state when it comes to education, and we like to make the news a lot over things that our idiot people in the legislature are saying. I can call them that because I don't care which side of politics you're on. There's things that they say that you're just like, wait, did you really just say that?
Yeah.
And so Like, it does not matter. It's not me getting political. They say stupid things a lot. And I really love our school district because it doesn't matter what they're doing up at the state level. They're like, no, this is what's best for the kids. This is what we're going to do. So, yeah, we made the news
Boom.
recently we are going to make sure that we show ultrasounds to kids in sex ed, but we're not going to tell them what consent is. I have no words.
What?
So, yeah. One is going to be mandated and one is not. And you would think that the consent one is the one that would be mandated to tell a kid what consent is. We're not mandating that. I was like, really? Okay. Yeah. That's why I say I love my school district because they believe in things like that. Like, they actually will do for prom, just before prom, they have the police department come in, and well, technically we now will have 3 high schools, but we had 2 high schools and like a magnet high school. And so every other year they would switch which high school they did this at, but they have the fire department and the police come in and they show what a drunk driving accident looks like. And they're like, look, don't do this because this is what can happen. This is what it looks like. And these are the stats on how survivable it is. But they like bring in a car, like they actually have a car they bring in and they show what it takes to get somebody out of a car that's been smashed into a tree or the side of the road and stuff. Like with the jaws of life and everything. It's great practice for the police and fire department. Like the fire department, it's one of their favorite things they get to do because they get to come and practice ripping open the cars, you know?
Right.
It's kind of a weird thing, but it's really good. And so a lot of the kids, it sticks with them. Like, there's kids that have graduated for a couple of years who still talk about, yeah, no, you don't drink and drive because that's a very powerful thing that they do. And I think that's not something you see that often. And I think it's awesome. And they have a little thing that they've made where it shows how fast a car going 0 to 60. And I don't even think it goes up to 60. I think they only have it go to 30 miles an hour and then suddenly stop, kind of like a roller coaster, but it's just like a straight thing. So you get in it and it flies you for like 2 seconds and then slams you shut. So they put you in like a restraining belt so you won't get hurt. And they're like, now imagine this with just a seatbelt. And so you actually get to feel what it is when a car just suddenly stops. They're like, you don't want to be doing that. So there's things like that I really like. Oh, Renee says they do that at her school too. That's good. As long as she can remember. I assume you mean the drunk driving thing. I think it's cool. I had never seen it at any of my schools growing up. And I'm like, that's actually really cool. I got to watch it because my sister dispatched last year, so she recorded it and sent it to us so we could see it. See, I've seen videos. Becky, I agree. I saw videos in driver's ed, but seeing it in real life in front of you and actually like hearing the sounds, but also seeing the impact as opposed to the video, it just is so much more real. So, I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, I really like the idea. So I like a lot of the things they do. So I think he'll enjoy high school once he gets there.
Right.
But it's, it's a brand new thing. You haven't done it before. It's kind of scary. Yeah, we do active shooter training all the way down to kindergarten.
That's so crazy.
Fun. But I loved my niece's kindergarten teacher. She basically just said, hey, we're going to practice what we would do if a bad guy came in here. She didn't mention guns at all. She didn't mention shooter. She didn't call it active shooter. She said, if a bad guy were to come in here, this is what we're going to do. So
that's very good.
I was like, I really like that they try and make it very approachable in the younger grades so they don't freak everybody out.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. That's a good thing. Very good. Very good thing. Okay. I think I'm going to slide in my little journaling block there. Okay. So it's just Becky and Renee, right? With this? Or
that's the only people talking. I don't see anybody else. Is anybody else hanging out and you're just not chatting with us?
And
or you're
why?
watching on an iPad, so it's hard to chat. Renee says that they do it at her workplace. Yeah, they've done that. I haven't had to do that at workplaces, but my husband has. And her church did it a couple years ago. We have not done that with the kids, but we do have a plan in place that the adults are aware of.
Okay. All right. So since there's just two of them and Renee won a template set already, I'm going to give a template set away to Becky.
Ooh, Becky wins a template set.
Boop, boop. Just message me in the forum which one you want, and I'll send you the download links.
Exciting.
Yep. And that's old and new. So whatever you find that strikes your fancy, let me know.
Becky says she got her shopping done. Now, where is the unzipping and organizing fairy?
Right.
She also says thank you.
Oh,
But
you're very welcome. Thank you for
I
coming.
feel that.
Yeah.
I did that last night. I turned on a show and I was like, I'm just going to do this. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna scrapbook some more, I think, after this, because I have some other layouts to do, because I'm doing May I Scrap Lift You, which is a YouTube series. So it's a layout a day, you're scrap lifting off this list, and then I'm doing Load, which is layout a day for May.
I did not sign up for that this year.
I'm doing good so far, keeping up with it, but I gotta do my layout this afternoon. So
Yeah, I just decided
anyway.
I was too busy with everything else in life right now.
Yeah, just take it off your plate. I mean,
Yep.
but, all right. Well, thank y'all for coming. I enjoyed hanging out with y'all, and we had, we didn't talk about food.
We did not.
I don't think we talked about food last time. We're doing so much better.
We mentioned food for a second last time. I can't remember what it was, but
I don't remember, but yeah, I don't think we talked about it Thursday night either, because we were foodies, man. We're talking all about the foods, which I like that too. But
I like talking about the food, but I haven't had anything that I'm like, oh, I got to talk about.
Oh, and before I go, I know Renee knows about it already, but Becky, in the forum, I have a template challenge for iNSD, and if you do the layout, you get a chance to win a template set, and then a secondary prize is to win 5 layouts scrapped by me using your photos and your journaling.
I told her I was going to enter and I'm going to win. So she has to do my photos. And I'm going to make her do pocket pages.
All right, guys. Thank you again. And
thanks for coming.
We'll see you in June.
Yes, we will.
All right. Thanks, Courtney. Have a good
You're
evening.
welcome.
Relaxing.